Now we're going to learn how to use some of the tools on Google Docs. These are some important functions of the application, and it will help you to write some paragraphs and to change the sizes and to change the text. So I'm going to start by writing a couple of sentences. So I'm going to put my name is Tina. I work at CLC. I am a teacher and I'm from Massachusetts. Okay, so I've just written 4 sentences just to give this as an example of what you can do with some of the tools that we have up here. So these are all of our tools. So the first thing that we can do when we're using Google Docs is we can change the font. So this is what we call a font, and it's just the style that a text is written in. So right now the font is Arial. I want to change it to something else. So what I'm going to do is highlight the sentence I want to change, and then I'm going to click on font where it says Arial, and I'm going to change it to Impact. So I scroll down and I find a font that I want to use. So I'm going to use Impact for the first sentence. So I click, and now I've changed it to Impact. So I can do that by clicking on font. It looks a little bit small to me. It's kind of hard to read. So what I'm going to do is change the size. So next to font, if we look next to font, we can see a number. And this is for font size. So right now it says 11. Usually we write in size 12 font. That is the standard font size that we use in almost everything that we write. Papers, emails, letters. We want to use a size 12 because that's usually what people can read better and they can read it well. 11 is a little bit small. So I'm going to change this to 12. So I'm going to highlight again. I'm going to click here on the arrow, the down arrow, and I'm just going to move it to 12. So now I've changed it. So I can see that my first sentence, my name is Tina, is written in the font Impact and that it's size 12. Maybe I want to use this for a title and I want to make it a little bit bigger. I'll highlight it again and maybe I'll change it to size 48 and you can see it's quite big. Maybe I want to make it really small and I can change it to size 8. The bigger the number, the bigger the font. The smaller the number, the smaller the font. So one of the first things that we want to be able to do when we use Google Docs is to change the font and the font size. Now, because today we're going to be writing a paragraph, I want you to focus on changing your font to Times New Roman and to keep it in size 12. So now we have Times New Roman font right here, which you can see now at the top, and size 12. So the first thing that we can do is we can change the font and the font size. The second thing that we're able to do with our functions and our tools at the top of the page is we can change what the text looks like. So I want everybody to be able to look at where I work. So I'm going to highlight and I want people's eyes to go right to this. I want them to draw their attention to I work at CLC. So I'm going to change to Times New Roman, font size 12, and then I'm going to click on the B. And the B is for bold. So if I click here, I work at CLC turns darker. So you can see when B is off, the bold is off, it's just normal type. When I make it bold, the words become darker. I can also change it to italics, and that's what the I is. The I is for italic. So I'm going to go down to I am a teacher. I'm going to highlight, and I'm going to change the font to Times New Roman. I'm going to change the font size to, let's do 14. And then I'm going to click on I, and that's going to make it italic. So now you can see here that the text is slightly slanted. So not italic, just regular. And now when I click on I, it becomes italic. So we have an italicized text. So when you want the text a little bit slanted, maybe you are writing something where you want to show somebody a translation. A lot of times words in a different language are used in italics. So this is a really good way to draw more attention to what you're writing. The last one that I want to show you is underlining, and that is the U with the underline symbol. So if I highlight again, I'm going to change the font to Times New Roman. I'm going to change the font size to 12, and then I'm going to click on the underline right here. So now we have I'm from Massachusetts is underlined. And if I change it, not underlined, I click on the U with the underline here, and it underlines it right there for you. So these are some good functions for changing the text. So again, we have the font, we have the font size, we have bold, and that's I work at CLC, we have italic, and that's I am a teacher, and we have underline, and that's I'm from Massachusetts. So these are some different tools that you can use in Google Docs.